Oh, this is funny.
Okay. Hi everyone. So welcome to today's episode, and we have my friend Marina here, who
Hello.
I met from Antler Startup Accelerator this year in March. So yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Excited.
Yeah. So why don't you tell the viewer a little bit about yourself and what you're currently doing now? Just an intro about yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my name is Marina. I'm from Brazil, but I went to US for university at 18, and then I fell in love with a Dutchman during a backpacking trip in Peru. And then after 5 years of long distance, we decided to get married, and that's why I'm here in Amsterdam.
Uh-huh.
I've been here for the last almost 7 years.
Okay.
And I'm divorced, so no longer together. But still, I decided to stay here because I really enjoyed the overall vibe and the people and the overall society. So I have been with Ernst & Young, EY, for these 7 years actually. I came here through them, and then I am part of the data analytics team with them. It's a very large team. I'm a senior manager, and earlier this year, that's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to maybe try something new, and I joined the incubator with you.
Yeah.
From more, let's say, a personal level, I love dogs. This is Kachucha, my daughter. She's a rescue from Bulgaria. My family and I, we love animals in general. I was raised in a farm, and we've always had many dogs. And I love doing sports. I love board games and just escape rooms, things that you have to be challenged.
Right.
Is this enough?
Yeah, that's great. That's been
Okay.
great. Yeah. So thanks for the intro. So obviously this year has been kind of a wild ride for a lot of us. So we're coming to the end of the year as well. So how has this been for you this year? Like, how would you describe this year, and like all the activities or things that you've done this year? How would you describe it?
I think this year, by the way, I think it is worth a disclaimer that there was no prep for this.
No.
So, first of all, I loved the experience. I loved that I went for it. I wasn't sure if I was going to actually get in the program because it seems like it's quite hard to get in from the stats. And so I was quite surprised, and they gave me a really small amount of time to decide if I wanted to join or not. So I'm really happy that I decided to just go for it and try. So I really enjoyed it. Was so different than what I've been doing for the last 7 years. I met so many different people, and there were so many different cool entrepreneurial ideas. The program itself was quite cool in the sense that, I was personally not aware of all that exists within the entrepreneurial world. Like, there's so many ways that you can actually start a company. There's so many different ways that you can get support to start a company. And I wasn't aware of any of that. So it was just really great to get the opportunity to be in a place where you are introduced in a very structured way by pros. And it's something that I definitely feel like I want to continually just explore. On top of that, this year I also decided to take a really nice vacation.
Oh yeah.
Because it was quite a wild ride for 3 months or so.
Yeah.
And I went to Bali.
Oh yeah. Israel told me that.
Yeah. I went there for almost a month, and I just splurged. I went to a really nice place, woman only, and I surfed every day for 2 hours.
Wow.
And I surfed the first 5-meter wave of my life.
Oh wow.
And it was probably one of top 10 memories of my life so far.
Oh wow.
Because it was so, first of all, I didn't think I could do it.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And my sensei the teacher that I got there, he really pushed me, and it was like I served many, and it was just amazing, and I felt really empowered and confident, and just this sort of energy that comes from, you know, those waves that have been traveling I don't know for how long.
Oh wow.
So when I came back, you know, feeling like really grateful for this year and for these like new experiences that I'm allowing myself to have.
Yeah. Oh wow, okay. So what was it, like was it meditation or yoga retreat?
It was like a surf/yoga for women retreat.
Right, okay.
And literally that's all I did every day.
Oh wow.
Like every day. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I would say that like I was a bit hesitant to go by myself. I did travel a lot when I was younger by myself, but I don't know. I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
And it was great. I met amazing women.
Yeah.
They were all around my age. Some a bit older, trying to sort of like escape their families and get a break for themselves. Others, everyone had an interesting story as to why they were there, you know. But there was always a why. And Bali in itself, I have never been to Indonesia actually before. Have you been there?
No, I'd love to go. One
day, I thought it was just, I love the food. I thought that people were so kind and the best, like, hostess, people that were, you know, very grateful to have a job. They were coming out of COVID, where tourism was, you know, massively hit, and a lot of Bali is from tourism. So they were so grateful just to have work, and the whole place was mostly women as well. And then I was just so ignorant about Indonesia in general, and then especially Bali, about how, well, it's a very sexist society still, and there are like a lot of rights that I think sometimes I take it for granted from being like in a Western country like Netherlands. For example, if a woman decides to divorce from the man, automatically the child will go to the father.
Oh wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and there's like all these different things that are, you know, so backwards, I would say. And it's just interesting to see how still they have so much resilience and strength and happiness too. You know, they would laugh, they were full of love. One of them, she was like our chef, and obviously these are very simple people, right? Trying to make the best with the small amount of money they get. And she had an orphanage.
Oh wow.
So she was literally, she made an orphanage on her own, right? It was just unbelievable what these people can do.
Yeah.
There were like, I don't know, like 20 kids. I was just really moved, you know, by being in a different place, maybe even more by myself, because I think you're more attuned to your surroundings when you are. Yeah. And I think you're also more invested in like whoever you meet. Yeah. So it was an amazing experience. Yeah. And I want to have more of that.
Definitely. I think traveling kind of enriches the mind. I think it's on a subconscious level, like you just meet so many different cultures or people, and your mind kind of absorbs all that kind of information, and you kind of, once you have that, process that information, you kind of bring that out to the world, and how you live your life, really. Sounds kind of similar to Thailand in a way. Like when I went to Thailand, people were very friendly, nice food, like kind of.
Never been, but dying to go as well.
Yeah. Definitely.
Where did you go in Thailand?
I went to Bangkok. Well, I stayed with a friend there. So so
he lives there.
Yeah.
Oh, and is he from Thailand?
Yeah.
Oh,
Thailand,
nice! You stayed with a local. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So
I think that's extra special.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a very nice country, actually. Yeah.
I really want to go. I haven't been. I especially also want to go to Laos.
Yeah.
And Cambodia. And I think my next trip, I'm thinking about maybe Vietnam. or Costa Rica. I've been to Costa Rica before, but I just now I want to go for surfing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
Plans.
Yeah. Speaking on that, like you seem like a well-traveled person. Like, so how do you think that's helped you, like, or shaped you the person you are? Or like, a couple of questions. So that also, like, which countries have you been your favorite, and perhaps also which countries have been your least favorite as well?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do I think travel has helped me?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so, but I also think it depends on how you travel. So when I was growing up, my parents definitely took me to many different countries, which was already quite nice. And they are people who are really into the place that you go to. So they want, to experience the local foods, and they want to go to the museum about the history. And so they really, like, when you are in a place, especially my mom, she wants to have those experiences. And my dad, he's more into nature. So when we travel, it's usually to consume sort of the nature of the place. And when I started traveling on my own was after I think I was like abroad. I think it was after I was 18, because I moved to US at 18. So then when I was in US, I lived in California.
Yeah.
I had a car.
Yeah.
And then we would take the car everywhere. We would go to San Francisco, go to Lake Tahoe, to Big Bear, to everywhere.
Yeah.
Grand Canyon, Las Vegas. And it was always more for fun. And overall, I think that it's just nice to see how others live and what they like.
Yeah.
And how, but I think overall in my 20s, I went to Peru, I went to Europe, but I don't think I had the same way of consuming these trips as I do now. I would say that by living in US, Brazil, and Netherlands, I gained the most, I think. So it was more about living in a place and really getting to know the society and how things work, at least from where you belong, right? From where you're at. I think that caused more of a reflection for me than just traveling in general. And then as I grew older, and then as I guess after maybe college, that I really started to understand some of the what being a woman meant in the workplace, and like just having a bit more of an understanding of the world. You're so sheltered for so many years. At least I was. Even though I was living on my own US, you're still sheltered. And so then when I started to travel more, to like think about how do these people live? Do they have enough? For example, when I traveled when I was around 20, I never asked for what's the minimum wage here and what can you do with it. I never even care about that. And now when I travel, I want to know where I'm staying the people earn a good enough wage. And I'm going to ask questions, and depending on the answers, I might not want to stay there, or I might want to talk to the owner, or I will like with the place I stayed, they were so vocal about how grateful they were about the owners. And I also gave a generous tip, because it's when you really hear of how much they make, I think I forgot, but it was like $200 or $300 a month.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and that sounds like not a lot, and I don't think it is, because I feel like what I really love about Netherlands is that no matter where you work, like if you work, for example, as a waiter in a restaurant, overall there's obviously many exceptions, but overall you would be able to maybe once a year go abroad to travel.
Yeah.
There's no way they can do that.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of countries like that as well.
Indeed, Brazil, one of them, my country.
Yeah.
And minimum wage in Brazil, it's really low, really low. even a normal salary nowadays is really low because of the currency. But overall, I didn't think about even caring about these things, right, when I was younger. Of course, when you see, like, I always had a special bond with animals. So even as I was young, anytime I see any kind of street dogs, I hate when I see horses or donkeys being used for tourism. So, for example, I remember I was 21 and I was in Santorini, I think, in Greece.
Greece.
And I think it was Santorini that they had this huge hill, and you can get to the the top either walking up the hill, or there was a little, what was it called, ferry? No, it's not a ferry, like the thing.
Cable car.
Cable car.
Yeah.
And I think there was also Uber.
Yeah.
And then there was the option of the donkeys.
Oh, okay.
And you imagine, like, 200 kilos, 110 kilos, man, sitting on that donkey.
Yeah.
Go up and down the whole day. That's the whole life. The donkeys with their backs arched.
Yeah.
I cried. I like that is something that ever, like, no matter what, I've always noticed dogs, animals in general, how they're treated, and overall that always moved me a lot. You don't see that here in Netherlands. I've never seen, at least. In Brazil, you do. Maybe shall we pause?
Yeah, you can.
And I can
close the window. Yeah.
Wait.
No, you can't.
Okay. I thought I put something, but I guess not. Am I talking too much, or how's it going?
No, it's good. It's good. Do you want to close that one or keep that one open?
It's not this one.
Oh, okay.
Are you cold?
We can keep it open. Yeah, keep it open. Yeah.
Vem meu peruca. Vem. Okay. Let me make the conversation a bit more light.
Yeah. I think it's good.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm interested about your time in America. So so how long did you spend there? Like, you studied there, right?
Yeah.
Just what was that like in general?
I studied there from 18 until, I want to say, 21.
Yeah.
And then I worked there.
Yeah.
I loved it.
You loved it, yeah.
I was young. I had a car. I had the independence for the first time of not living with my parents. And I had no adult supervision, which was great.
Yeah.
And it's just so different, the reality from Brazil.
Okay.
First, that you have a car.
Yeah.
And then you have your own place. I mean, at 18, usually in Brazil, you still live with your parents. And unless you want to go to school in a place that is really far, you live with your parents throughout your entire university. So to have, like, my own place and to have my own car and, you know, all the freedom in the world, it was amazing. And I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought that I would have a harder time because I've always been really close to my parents and I had such good friends in Brazil. But actually, no, not really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's something that was meant to be for me because I got new friends there.
Yeah.
Some of them still some of my best friends. They were bridesmaids in my wedding. I got to live with them there as well, which was awesome. I've always had roommates while I was there, which I think was really good for me because then I never really felt like completely alone. I overall loved California as a place because they are just so progressive and there are so many new things, right? Like they have new everything. Like, oh, you wanna, like, I think CrossFit was the first time I was there.
Oh, okay.
It was such a long time ago, and vegan. Like
vegan,
I didn't know what vegan was, but California introduced that to me.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Is that still recording?
Yeah, still recording.
Okay. Yeah, and then overall, I was, I think, in there at a time when I don't think there was as much crisis as there is now. So it was a different situation, I think, as well, because this was 10 years ago. This was almost over 10 years ago. So I had a blast. I also was very privileged because I didn't have to work and pay for school. I only worked to get experience. So it's different, right? When you are going to school and you have to work so that you can pay for school versus you're working and getting some side money for your own benefit, for also kind of more academic route. So I had an easy, amazing life, I would say.
Yeah.
And I don't think I took it for granted because I enjoyed, right? Like I travel everywhere in that state. I was not in my house watching TV. That's for sure. I was
a lot of parties as well.
But also like a lot of sports, a lot of trips, a lot of just trying to take advantage of all these new things that would pop up and just trying them out. I had a group of friends that every month we would visit a new cuisine. So we would go to a restaurant of a cuisine that we have not been before. And so just trying new things. We were just very experimental and I love that. I also worked at an internship that I really liked.
Yeah.
It was, what was the name? I forgot the name. But they did guerrilla marketing, which I didn't know what it was before. And apparently it's like, sometimes you have like a new movie or a new release of a product and you want to do something out of the box and that is not your traditional marketing route, like a TV ad or something like that. Red Bull does that a lot with those crazy stuff that they will pull. And that's what they were literally doing only those kind of events. So often you would get like a lot of people having the craziest ideas. Yeah. And that was so much fun to watch. And also The Office was pretty cool. It's like all these things that you hear about like startups, like you have the gaming section with the ping pong table and some music in the whole room and everything is open. There are dogs everywhere. Yeah. It was pretty cool. I really like that place.
Good stuff, yeah. Yeah. It seems to be a trend, like it seems to be drawn to like very progressive societies.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, first California and now Amsterdam.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's probably the most progressive pieces of Earth. I think that's a trend that...
I think also my friends, most
Your
of them.
Your friends, very progressive,
Yeah, I think overall, I think my parents as well.
Yeah.
Even my grandma. My grandma's like the coolest.
Yeah.
I think, in general, I think people, if given a choice, would tend to prefer to live in a place where they feel more comfortable. And I feel like even though I do see still a lot of things we should improve, I do feel quite safe, which is something that I didn't feel in Brazil. Yeah. So when I walk with Pururuca, for example, at night, if I was in Brazil, in Rio, where I'm from, I wouldn't even do it, period. But in here, I do it, and it is true that if I hear something, I will be more like cautious, but I do it, and overall, I feel good about it, right? I'm walking and I'm happy, and I think this brings so much peace. This brings, I don't think people, or maybe even men, realize how we actually like go through life. Woman, I'm speaking about. It's or maybe it's just me and part of an unfortunate group, or I guess. But I feel like safety is probably one of the main reasons why I don't live in Brazil. Because overall, I love the people. I mean, I have my best friends are there. My whole family is there. I love the overall food, and the Rio in general is beautiful. But it's just not safe, especially for women.
Yeah,
it's not safe for anyone.
Okay.
But especially for women. And I love that I have that here. And I had that also in US actually, but I think a bit less than in here, at least in LA where I lived. Because in LA also at nights there was a lot of like homeless people on the streets, just like in Brazil.
Yeah.
And also, of course, just drunk men being disgusting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. And how's your time been in Amsterdam? So you've been here a fair amount of time now. So how's that been in Amsterdam?
7 years.
Yeah.
I've really come to enjoy Amsterdam more after, I would say, I think COVID onwards. I enjoyed more Amsterdam, which is weird. Overall, the thing is that before, first of all, I was married, and we had a very, like, let's say, routine kind of lifestyle that it's not very me, actually. So I would say that prior to that, I had a very, let's say, normal life, every day doing the same thing, not trying new things actually that much. Still always sported, but I don't think I explored as much. And during COVID, because we were all in lockdown, we formed this small group of friends, and we had board games every week, and we had dinners every week.
Yeah.
And on the weekends, every single weekend, almost, we would go mountain biking. And it's when I also trained more for the triathlon.
Yeah.
And then also this Pururuca Linda de Mamãe, she came into my life. So I just, when you have a dog, you just have to go outside at least 3 times a day. So once all these things came into place, I started to feel more like really enjoying this place.
Yeah.
I also moved to here, like this place, this area. It's more of what I like, which is nature.
Yeah.
Before, when I used to live in the city center, I lived the city center for like 3 or 4 years. I just like I get, but it's not for me. Like, I just don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then I am obsessed with escape rooms. So Amsterdam is the place.
Yeah.
And of course, Netherlands in general, they have the best. So I've been fortunate enough to have enough friends to drag them with me to all these different escape rooms. So I've done, I don't even know, I think I've done the majority of the ones in Amsterdam.
Oh, wow. Good stuff. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I also love that also in Amsterdam, kind of like LA, you have all these like pop-ups of different stuff that you can try, like vegan sushi or goat yoga, like all these different like things that are weird.
Yeah.
But you kind of cannot help but want to try.
Yeah.
And then I've been doing that with these friends, and that's what I like. I like this kind of random stuff.
Okay, you like trying new stuff.
Yeah,
like
I
new
like
experiences and stuff.
Yeah. And
okay.
I like things with sports and games and comedy. Like these are the sort of things that I navigate or gravitate towards.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, you're quite adventurous person, you would say. Like you like trying new stuff and like.
Yeah, I like trying new stuff. Yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah.
Just on that topic, like comedy.
Yeah.
As well, yeah. So, like, congratulations on your first show.
Yeah.
That was great. Like, just so that you know, so Marina performs live for an audience of about 50, I'd say.
I don't know.
Probably about 50 to 100 anyway.
I blacked out.
It was her first set, and it was great. It was
Thank
great.
you.
It was wonderful. Yeah. So, you can explain it yourself, actually.
I did improvisation classes like ages ago, like 5 years ago, I think. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like you are a child.
Yeah.
And you are there playing for an hour and the time flies.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love it. But then it's weird. Like sometimes you do things that you really love and then you don't for many years. But in my head, I knew they had this course on stand-up comedy. And I just always felt like I just should try this at some point.
Yeah.
And then this year, I don't know, I think maybe after Bali, after the incubator,
After Bali, okay,
I thought, you know what, let's make this year the year of trying new things.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I signed up for the course. It's an 8-week course. And at the end of it, you do a show.
Uh-huh.
And I loved it. I will say that I prefer sketch and improvisation more than just you standing there doing the stand-up.
Yeah.
I did find it challenging to overall like write, because when you write it's different than when you deliver, and then you have to go back to it. But the whole time I just felt so much support from my friends, from the class, from the teachers, and it was such a nice vibe that even on the day of the presentation, I was nervous, of course, but I was nervous like in a good way. Like I had a good vibe, you know. I was like, yeah, I mean, this is just gonna be great, because it's an experience in itself, you know. It's kind of like a bucket list kind of a item for me. So after that, I definitely want to go back and do sketch and improvisation more. Yeah. And there's like these places around Amsterdam that they have open mic days.
Yeah.
And then if I don't know, if I see something that I find funny and I want to write about it, I would just go to one of those places and I would deliver a new set and see how it goes.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's something about the community as well. The community of comedians. It's like really just
they're amazing.
Nice. It's just, you're with people that just enjoy laughing and just having a good time. Just speaking to them, you kind of made me want to be part of that community. It's just such a fun group.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did a great job. Really great job. Yeah, as a first timer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who are your favorite comedians, may I ask?
So that's the thing. That's actually was funny.
Yeah.
When I first joined the class, we were about 9 people, I think, in total.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows so many comedians. They know the names. They know like, oh yeah, remember this joke? Oh yeah, he does this or she does that.
Yeah.
I don't know this. Like I'm not a person who like watches stand-up comedy and knows people's names or anything like that. I'm like
just like funny stuff.
Yeah, I like, you know, The Office. I like Parks and Recreation. I like Modern Family.
British or American, The Office?
I haven't watched the British one, but I'm sure I will like, because I like that guy, the creator.
Ricky Gervais,
I find him really...
Steve Carell's hilarious as well.
He's amazing.
He's hilarious.
So good. So I just like to laugh, and I like funny people. So once I started to take this course, then, you know, it's like an avalanche of information. People sending their favorite comedians, sending me, oh, you will like this person, you like this person, And I didn't do any of it. I was too lazy, and I was also, you know, have to balance work with this. So I haven't checked, and I want to though, because of course now I have a much better appreciation. Yeah. So I want to check. Yeah. But I have been to live stand-up shows.
Yeah.
Though.
Okay.
I did one here in Boom, Chicago.
Okay.
Oh my God, I love it.
I heard about that. Yeah.
I just such a nice vibe. Like,
I gotta check it out.
Right?
Yeah.
I went to Kevin Hart.
Oh,
here
really?
in Amsterdam.
Whoa,
he came here.
That must have been a really good experience. So funny.
So fun. I find him hilarious. I find him and The Rock, that
vibe. Yeah.
You know that I love that. I love that. I think they are hilarious together. I like what is her name? Amy Schumer.
Oh, Amy Schumer. Okay.
I think that's the only comedian name I know.
Okay.
I find her hilarious.
Yeah.
And I know her because I read a book from her. The girl with the dragon tattoo. Something like, with the girl with the lower dragon back. I don't know, but something like that.
Okay.
Hilarious. Because at some point in my life, I really started to read comedian books. Audiobooks.
Okay. Like books written by comedians.
Yeah, about their autobiography.
Okay, yeah.
And it's so hilarious.
Okay.
It's so hilarious. I don't know who I started from. I think someone gave me a book. I don't remember the comedian, but she has this was years ago. Let me see if I remember. She has some kind of depression or polar bipolar, I don't know which one, or a mix. She really struggles, right? So it's supposed to be really sad, but she takes that book, and she is a comedian, and she turns that around. Like, she turns her own events of life where one would only find tragedy, and she just makes it so funny, and you feel like, should I even be laughing about this? But she gives you license to laugh, and it has like a raccoon, like stuffed raccoon in the front. I've forgotten the name, but it's hilarious. From that point on, I read Amy Schumer, I read Tina Fey, I read forgot the one from Parks and Recreation. What's her name? The actress, the blonde one.
Yeah,
Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler.
Poehler.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then Kevin Hart, but I didn't finish his. Oh, there's a guy that I thought it was so funny. The book, the guy that is, he's a brother of a very famous woman who has Kate Spade.
Kate Spade.
Kevin Spade.
Kevin Spade. Okay,
yeah. And it's hilarious. I love it. I think that's where I started to be like, okay, maybe. Because all of these guys, I haven't seen. Only Amy Schumer I've seen stand up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're hilarious.
Yeah,
they're just like you.
Yeah.
Their lives. I mean, I'm sure they probably take some license to write some crazy shit.
Yeah.
But overall, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
They have different outlook in life. I think they walk life with a different glasses than everyone else. It's like they're constantly looking for things to make fun of and things to laugh of.
Okay.
No matter if they're terrible or not. And I love that. I find the whole self-pity kind of humor and overall like taking something that is really tragic and turning into something funny, provided that you have the license for it. I find it hilarious.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what's the thought process to make comedy stand-up? Is it what you just mentioned? Take something sad and then make it
They have like little games to help you, like 5 by 5, I think is what they call. So 5 things that everyone hates, but you kind of like it. And then you like think about those 5 things, and then you can like sort of write from that. Then 5 things that you love but everyone thinks it's lame, like all this, like they give you all these sort of prompts on the first class, and then from that you have like a base, and then they invite you to write something about this every class, and then after a couple of classes they sort of see if you want to sort of direct your attention to one of these topics and write a full sketch. And then the last 2 classes or so, it's when you really developed the sketch and you test it out with them. And then there's one class or an additional class I think we got, where they actually brought other, like, because the class was taught by 1 or 2 comedians, but then there was a class that they brought, like, there were like 4 of them, and that was amazing. Like, because then you have a full professional panel, like you deliver, and then they're like, you should do this, but they're so funny, right? Like it's the best form of criticism, right? Because I've never had such a good time during a feedback session in my life, because it was like gold. They were giving me gold to put in my sketch, so it was awesome. I wish every round table at UI was like that.
That's kind of interesting, that. So you're basically getting critiqued on whether it makes them laugh or not. So it's kind of...
No, they I don't know, they're professionals, so they have this like insights and triggering questions, but they're so funny, and you're like, man, this is a great addition, right? And I don't know, like overall to me at least, I thought they were amazing. The things that they were saying, I was crying, laughing, like, oh my God, I have to add this. So I think that I wish I could get only criticism like that.
Good stuff.
Kachucha, don't leak. Don't leak. Yes, minha pururuca.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
So some of the comedians that you talked about, so they're into acting as well. So is that something you're interested in as well in the future?
No, I don't think so. It depends.
Like funny acting, maybe funny acting.
Yeah, something like SNL.
SNL, okay.
I really enjoy.
Oh, really?
I find it hilarious.
Yeah.
Something like, you know those people that they prank other people?
Yeah.
Like they make a prank in the middle of the street and they prank people.
Pranks, like zombie pranks and...
I don't know about zombie, but like practical pranks.
Okay.
Like, I find it hilarious.
Like a ringtone in the library.
Yeah, like, you know, those, there's some, because I don't really care.
You're eating pies while you're doing weights and stuff.
Yeah, something like that, like something silly, you know?
That like on YouTube. Like YouTube.
Yeah, like YouTube, for example.
Yeah,
I just find it hilarious. I mean, I don't like disgusting things.
Yeah.
And I like the heartfelt kind of comedy. Like flash mobs, for example. It's one of my dreams to be part of. Like, Kachucha, what did we talk about not leaking people?
It's okay.
It's okay, but I don't like it. I teach her not to.
Yeah.
Don't leak people, okay? Don't leak people.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
Yeah,
she's
nice.
Flying with me to Brazil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay,
quite nervous. She's also, so I'm training her to be comfortable in the box.
How long have you had Kachucha?
A bit over 2 years now.
Over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then minha Jujumuja, she was about 6 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, my baby.
Stuff, yeah.
So it's going to be the first time she goes to Brazil, and since I'm spending 2 months there.
Oh wow! When are you going?
I'm going on the beginning of December, and I'm staying there until the end of January.
Yeah, to visit family.
Yeah,
and stuff,
staying with my family, and bringing this girl because she's also family. And I just think it's going to be great for her because she will be able to be in a farm and run, and she's going to meet her aunties and uncles, also dogs.
Yeah.
And she's going to run with them, and they're going to be best buddies.
Yeah.
I just cannot wait for her to be free 24/7, you know?
Yeah.
I just so excited because here, you know, she can only be free to the extent that I walk with her and I go to a location where she can be on leash. And this is a dog who loves exercise, who loves to, she's curious. She's one of the few dogs that I've had that I'm walking with her and she's like looking at the sky, she's looking at the trees.
Yeah. Like
she really takes it in. It's just so cute. So I cannot wait for her to do that.
Good stuff, yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. 2 months in Brazil. I mean, just good weather, great people. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, and I'm trying to teach her to surf.
Oh, surf as well?
Yeah, I took her this last weekend.
Yeah.
And we, for the first time, went over a board. Yes, you did it. It was, it was difficult, but she did it. She was on top of a board and we just, shoo!
Yeah.
And then she jumped out of it immediately. Actually, we both got out of the board. But I really, like, you see those videos on YouTube or whatever, and those people with longboards, surfing with 1-2 dogs, like, that's the dream, right? Like that, like that's amazing. Like, and then you're like, okay, this is like some kind of like movie that is Kachucha. I was talking about how you are a surfer now, so you need to be zen. You're a chill surfer. She's hearing the neighbors, I think. Yeah, so I want that to be my reality. I want to take her in a longboard and for her to just ride with me
Yeah.
Let's see if she's up for it.
How do they fit on the board? So you're standing on the back, and then she's at the front.
That's how we try to do it.
Okay.
But I was sitting the whole time.
That's incredibly hard.
It was incredibly hard. I was holding her. There was literally it was like, it looked like a prank.
Okay.
Because it was a terrible day. Yeah. Like it was the wind was terrible, so like there were like waves coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of them too.
Yeah.
And then we were in a sand, so really like not really deep. No, really not very deep at all. But maybe the water was here. Mm-hmm. So we put her on top of the board. Mm-hmm. Because she put her both of paws, but she couldn't come back. Like, I don't know why. Yeah. So we put her up. I had her like literally around my legs like this. Mm-hmm. And then my the teacher, he like pushed us.
Oh,
and then we like off we went like Ew.
Oh.
And we did that for a few times until she got more comfortable. And then she didn't. Yeah. And then she was like, I had enough. And then she walked back to the beach, and then we need to try again next time with treats, because I didn't have treats because I wasn't planning to take her on the board. And then the teacher was like, why don't we try with her? And I'm like, what an amazing idea. Of course we should try with her.
Yeah.
But I didn't have her treats, so next time. Nemi Pururuka. She works for food.
Oh, okay.
This is a dog that works for food.
Yeah. Like a very strong dog. Very fit dog. Yeah. So I'm interested to hear about like your childhood, like how you grew up in Brazil. Like I'd love to hear about that.
Okay.
So yeah, just your earliest memories. What was it like?
Earliest. So my parents are divorced, and I lived with my mom, and I lived with my mom in the city, Rio.
Yeah.
In an apartment, and in the apartment there were a lot of kids.
Okay.
And we would all go down to there was like a big playground for children, with a pool, with like all sorts of things. And I just would play the entire afternoon there with the other children.
Wow, okay.
I also had a lot of friends in school, and my school overall, like you hear a lot about like, you know, bullying and things like that. I did not experience that in school. My school in Brazil, you are with the same classmate. Cachucha. No.
Am I like, is my skin like very tasty or something?
I don't know, but no. Talk about this. So you are with the same classmates if you're in the school for years, right? And it's like about 30 people, 40 students max. So it's really nice because you sort of like grow up with them, right? So I was studying with people since I was like maybe 7 or 8, the same people all the way until like, I don't know, 14, 15. So that was really nice. And then my dad, he lived in the farm. And it was a hotel farm. And so on the weekends and also on some of the bigger holidays or on like full holidays, school holidays, I would be with him there. And then it was super nice because I could take some of my friends there. But I also had friends also by the hotel, which were the daughters of some of the employees. And it was also amazing because it was a hotel farm, so there were a lot of kids there as well. And there were a lot of entertainment for children. And there was a big lake, I had horses, I had ducks, I had chicken, I had all sorts of animals. My first pet, I think it was Aline, who was a chicken, and I had a leash, and we would walk around the hotel, me and Aline.
Pet chicken?
Yes, I had a pet chicken, and she also would go to the city with me to Rio when my dad would drop me off with my mom.
Okay, so you go in the city with a pet chicken.
She was in the apartment, yeah. And I was really afraid of dolls.
Dolls?
I thought they were creepy. I still think they're creepy.
They are pretty creepy.
They're pretty creepy. Yeah. So as a child, I would undress them, and my mom would donate the naked doll, and I would put Aline in my doll's dresses. So she was always in style.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I had a very, let's say, playful, fun, adventurous childhood. And I always also loved, because I'm my only child, so I also, and my cousins, they are not that far in age. So I also loved being with them and going to their houses. My mom always was very close to her sisters.
Yeah.
So I was also very close to my cousins. So I would sleep over a lot with other friends. Other friends would sleep over in my place. So I had a very dynamic upbringing.
Yeah.
Where I had a lot of houses that I would be at.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends and people that I would be around. Different environments. Lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a very active childhood. Like you had lots of people. Like it sounds very physically active. So like you're outside playing.
Yeah.
Not many computer games, I'm guessing. So
no, I was definitely not one of these. I had video games.
Yeah.
But even my video games were active. I had a carpet that you could dance.
Yeah.
You remember? I forgot the name was. Dance Revolution.
Yeah, Dance Revolution.
Yeah, I had literally a carpet.
That was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool stuff.
It was PlayStation, I think.
Yeah, PlayStation.
Yeah. So I had a PlayStation, and then I had the carpet at home, and me and my friend, we would like spend hours training.
Oh wow!
Just so that we could go to this place called GameWorks.
Yeah.
Which was like this big sort of like, by the way, I still go as an adult. I love it.
Yeah.
And then they had the actual Dance Revolution, like full on machine.
Yeah.
And I would just show off there. We would just be like the hardest one, and we'd be like, and then we would like walk out as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
We felt so cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And honestly,
amazing.
I still think it's quite cool. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So what sort of interest did you have as a child? Were you into academics or like just
no
really
not at all.
Well, okay.
Not at all.
Like, what sort of interest did you have then?
Sports I loved sports. I couldn't wait because in Brazil you have a very structured curriculum. There's no room for you to try things. Everyone has to do the same thing. There's no electives. And every week there is a physical exercise class. I don't know how to call. And it's like a 1 or 2 hour class where you're doing sports like volleyball, soccer, whatever. I absolutely loved it. And every year there was a competition in school where they would put you in different color teams and you would compete in sports. Loved it. Always loved it.
Wow. Okay.
So I was always into sports. I did wakeboarding. I did a lot of different sports.
Yeah.
And I loved it. But I also danced for a really long time. Since I was like 4 or 5 until 12. So quite a long time.
Yeah.
So I loved sports. I loved being outdoor. I just liked sports. And I think I loved history.
Sports and history, okay.
History was something that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And arts,
okay.
I liked music, I liked art, doing things with my hands, painting. I liked Play-Doh.
Okay.
Things like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
What sports were your favourite? What sport was your favourite?
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball? Oh.
Loved dodgeball.
Oh, wow.
Obsessed.
Can you do that professionally?
You can, but I never heard of.
Okay.
I only heard that you could do it professionally in US.
Okay.
I didn't know that in Brazil you could do it. I still don't know.
Yeah.
And in US, the only reason why I know in US because there's a funny movie about it. So.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think it's
Dodgeball,
Adam Sandler. No.
It's with Vince Vaughn, I think.
Is it Will Ferrell?
Possibly,
I feel like Will Ferrell would be in this movie for some reason.
It's quite a silly movie. It's
a silly movie,
very silly movie, yeah.
But then I thought, oh my God, this is actually like they're making fun of something that is actually real.
Yeah.
You can be a professional.
Yeah, you can be. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What an underrated sport. I think.
Yeah.
I think we could do better with dodgeball.
Okay.
It's an awesome game.
Very, very athletic childhood though. So is that something you think you could have been then, like an athlete? Or something to sport? Or is it just...
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I had a very... For you to be a full-on athlete, I would imagine that you would need to be very focused and disciplined in that one sport. And I've never had that. I like to be in a sport and then I would do another sport, and then I just had so much interest and curiosity that I never really... I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. I think that, like, I see my dad as an athlete, for example, and I see the amount of time he spends with one sport, and it's just something that at least up until now, I don't have it. This amount of dedication to one thing, right? Like, I do it for fun.
Yeah.
But when you do it as, like, my dad, for example, it's work, right? It's like, I think it would defeat the purpose for me, to be honest.
Okay. So you do it for enjoyment.
Yes.
Rather than to, like, win or excel or...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, of course, it feels good to win.
Yeah.
But, like, at least in sports, I, like, feel so good about just being in there and like, just sort of enjoying that the ultimate outcome, it really doesn't matter for me. It really is something that, like with padel, for example, I lose most time, like, and I still, it doesn't lower the amount that I love at all, actually. The more I play, the more I love, even though the more I play, the more I lose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, padel's really fun, actually.
It's
like,
so much fun.
I'm very surprised how fun it is, yeah.
It's such a low threshold, too.
Yeah.
To just start having fun, you know?
Yeah, just rent a racket, tennis ball, and you can start going,
I mean, it's of course, if you want to be really good, of course, it's much harder, but I feel like there are some sports that the threshold to even begin to have fun is so high. Like surf, for example.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu as well. Jiu-jitsu's threshold's high.
That I don't know. But like, so with gymnastics, probably.
Yeah.
You probably have to fail so hard.
Yeah, exactly.
So many times to even start getting fun.
Break dancing. Yeah.
Pole dancing, for sure.
Oh, you tried that?
I've tried that. Oh my god, it should be in the Olympics.
You must be very fit, apparently.
It's so difficult.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I've done many sports in my life that I, had to struggle to even start getting somewhere. But pole dancing, wow. Like massive bruises. It's legit pain. It's pain. And then you need strength, you need flexibility. Either way, you're gonna have pain. And I've never had, like, I think I've done about 5 classes, and I feel like I'm worse than my first class.
Oh, wow.
If that's possible.
Wow. Okay.
I've never experienced that in my life.
Okay.
Never.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
That's interesting, yeah.
I have a newfound respect
yeah.
for any of those acrobatics and gymnastic stuff with like bars and with those rings, whatever. It's now I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is
because it looks almost like gymnastic. Like you have to use you're carrying your body weight, for example. You can explain like why is it so difficult? Like
first, it's a metal bar.
Yeah.
That you need to sort of put your body against really hard.
Yeah.
To lock yourself in a way. And that in itself hurts. Then indeed you need to have strength, which I don't have in my upper body, or at least I don't have the way the girls do, at least the ones that I've seen. And then you need flexibility, because some of the moves literally you need to like sort of be flexible, which I also don't have. So on and on, like it's just like I wouldn't say I'm the least flexible, or I do have some strength, but with what I have, it's really hard. So you need to be on like a much higher level of shape to start off not struggling so hard. And some of the girls I talk to, they've been doing it for a year. And they're like in the same class as I am.
Oh wow.
How is that possible? Of course they do much better than me. But like you would expect that. I mean, I'm in a beginner class. I thought within 6 months maybe I would move into an intermediary. And to hear that, I was shocked.
Okay. You do a lot of different activities, I've noticed. Like
you have a lot of
you have class pass.
I
Okay,
have class pass.
So you do this, escape rooms, padel. You have a lot of different interests.
I do. I have a lot of different interests, and it's also
how do you have
moments of life.
Moments of life.
So it's not like I'm constantly doing all this different stuff. Right? It's like I will be obsessed about something for like a year. Or a couple of years, and then I'll move into something else, and then sort of like that. So right now I am with padel. Since when was the first time we played? Like
probably near the beginning of Antler.
Beginning?
Remember playing with Pietro. What else was there?
So ever since the beginning of playing padel, I was like, okay, I really want to invest more time into it. So I've been like lately doing more of padel. And with class pass, it's like I use for sometimes pole dancing, I use for sometimes CrossFit, yoga, like just whatever I feel like. But these are just a lot of time, or sometimes I go running. So I'm not really training for anything in particular right now. So I would say that the thing that I'm sort of focused more in terms of getting better at is padel. Out of all of these things, the other is just like, because I really like to do sports for fun, unless I'm training for a competition. So everything else is more like, okay, I have a friend now that's going to CrossFit, I'll go with her. Or she's going to go to pole dancing, I'm going to go with her. Or I feel like, doing something more strength but still fun. Pole dancing. So I think or I want to relax, or I want to stretch more, or work on my breath, yoga. So I think it's more about what I feel like that week. And then I plan ahead, like a week in advance, and then I just put the whole calendar for the week of what I'm gonna do in terms of sports. And I just prioritize it, because to me, I literally feel bad if I am not sporting for more than a week.
There's something about being physically active that kind of enhances the body and the mind as well. It's something about that,
for mind, 100%. Like I feel. It's not even I feel in the body. I feel mentally like I am not serving me, or not putting myself first. It's almost like it's actually a bit scary, actually, if you think about it, because if you have something in your life that you're so dependent on, what if something happens that you no longer can have that? Like, and that sports is something that I'm scared of losing from like a mental health perspective. You know what I mean?
So if you're physically incapable of doing
if I get sick for whatever reason, if I'm at the hospital for like a longer period of time, whatever, like if something happens with my physical body that would prevent me from doing sports, I'm scared of like what. Because sports is literally one of the biggest stress relief, like sort of outlets that I have. It's almost like it's just so fundamental for me that if I lose that, what will my day look like? Like, how will I just work on a desk job? And even with mental games, it's just not enough.
So you try and do a little bit every day then?
I try,
Like, of course you gotta walk.
I walk every day, of course, with Pururuca. And I try to, like, really, what I call, like, more, let's say, hardcore exercise. So do, like, CrossFit or really go for a run.
You tried the David Goggins.
I tried once, and I was like
that's tough one.
pain.
That's a tough one, yeah.
For like 3 days.
I do that often, yeah, but that's a tough one.
Tough one.
I remember the first time I did it, I died.
Legit died. I was like sweating here. I did it right here.
It is tough.
And I was like, the thing is that like, when will it stop?
Yeah.
Because you're doing sort of the same
thing over
for like
and over
and over and over and over, like, stop.
Yeah.
And like when you think it can get worse, he pulls lunges. I hate lunges.
Oh, really?
Hate lunges with a passion.
Yeah.
So that was tough. But I like that. I like that.
Stuff that pushes you.
I just like when I feel that afterwards, like, you know, when you can feel your cheeks, they're like, I don't know if...
Or if just soaked in sweat. That's
I also
workout.
like, I love to sweat through a workout.
Yeah.
Love it.
Because I don't really sweat that much, but stuff that makes me soaked, I absolutely love
it.
that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I love, for example, hot yoga.
Yeah, that's
because
fun.
You
that's
feel
fun,
like,
you feel
that's
like, fun,
I don't know, there's something about the skin that also like, it feels nice, like it feels tender or something. I love it.
I like it. I can go topless in hot yoga as well, so it's nice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's
I
nice,
can't.
yeah. That's true, yeah.
But I just really enjoy sports, and I remember I had a hip injury, and when the doctor said that I would need to have surgery and I had to, I don't know for how long I wouldn't be able to sport, I was like, I fainted.
Yeah.
I literally passed out.
What, hot yoga?
No. When I went to the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
And he told me that I wouldn't need hip surgery, and I would need like 9 months to recover, and I wouldn't be able to sport. I fainted. Like, he told me that, and I fainted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was like, whoa, like 9 months? Like, what?
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah.
How do you, like, oh, God, no.
Yeah. So they say if they could put fitness into a drug and you take it, that would be the most valuable drug, or because the benefits that you get from fitness and just exercise in general, you cannot replicate through medicine. So you have to like literally physically. But
I think that, like, for me, one of the reasons why fitness matter is obviously the normal benefits, like the endorphins and all of that. But it's also kind of like it's a moment of the day that I prioritize myself over anything else, right? It's like, it's not cachucha, it's not my work, it's not the chores that you have to do at home. It's literally like me time.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably one of also the benefits that are the biggest drivers for me to do. Because it's like my time. I'm working literally on me, you know, and I don't know if it makes me feel free or independent in a way. To allocate that time. And say no to whatever else.
Definitely. I feel that way about yoga. It's like yoga's like an escape for me, like to just get away from the world and just do a little bit of 10-minute or 20-minute yoga. Like,
have you ever done yin yoga?
Yeah, yin yoga is very relaxing.
I love yin yoga.
Yeah, it's when you hold particular positions, right?
For like 3 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. That's quite nice. Nidra yoga is nice as well.
Which one?
Nidra?
I don't know this one.
I think you just lay there.
Okay, that sounds like I would love
relaxing,
it.
Yeah, so there's Nidra and restorative yoga as well.
Okay.
I think restorative is a bit like yin.
Yeah.
So you just hold positions for a bit. Yeah.
But I like the other one. I need to try now.
Yeah. So Rasa told me about that Nidra. So Nidra is just like actually laying down. People legitimately fall asleep in that.
I have, with yin, I have cried. I have slept. It's when they say melt in your mat. I listen. I'm melting in my mat. I'm like, yes, I love it. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. So let's talk about. Sorry, let's talk a bit about the present. So currently you're at EY. So you're doing, I think, data science. I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And so, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah.
Your consulting experience, but how does it like compare to the startup world? So maybe people are like thinking about leaving their jobs for a startup, or even going from startup to a corporate position. So
I am very fortunate to be in a team where I believe are amazing talent. So I really value the people I work with. I feel like they challenge me, they make me grow. So I feel very stimulated in the team that I'm with, right? So I think that's the key though. Like, it's not about corporate, it's not about startup, it's about what stimulates you, what makes you, you feel like you're growing, you feel like you're being challenged. And I think for me, that's in the team that I am with right now. And I think that if I didn't have that, I think probably I would look for that. And it could be in a startup, or it could be in maybe another job or another team. But for me personally, that's what I right now feel like it's the most important. And the cool thing also is that we are trying to do something new within UI. We are trying to create an asset, create an actual SaaS platform. And that is something that was already a recurrent topic, even when I was an Antler. It's something that I'm interested in. I like the idea of being sort of like a product owner for it, which I am. And having sort of like smart people that want the same. And the cool thing too is that a lot of the people that work with me, they're like friends. They're like interesting, fun, exciting people that I just want to be around. So it's not just that they are really smart and that they have great ideas, which is awesome. It's also that as people, they are someone I want to grab a drink, someone that I want to like play, a escape room with. I'm curious about these people, you know? And I think that's what makes me currently invest in being at EY and being in this career path. But looking ahead, I think that I am someone who found a new, let's say, confidence because of maybe Antler, and maybe, getting out of consulting for a little bit and seeing what's out there. I think now I have a bit more confidence also, in maybe if this doesn't serve me at some point, into, again, trying something different, and going for it. And I think in many ways, I think COVID gave me a little bit more of a push to just, because I think I lived within the status quo for a really long time. I was in I graduated, and then I went to corporate, and then I stayed in corporate. And although I try all these new things outside of work, it's been the same job for like 7 years. So I think that at some point, it's nice to have stability someplace. But when you have something like COVID, completely shaking everything, and sort of showing that actually the stability is just an illusion, and that's, sort of comfort and safety is, again, an illusion, that I think when you really are on that place where you're like, okay, if that's the case, what if, right? And I think that's when I started to what if more career-wise, as before it was more sports or fun things. And I don't think I lost that, actually. So right now, I'm happy where I am, but the what if is always around the corner now.
Okay, interesting, And so what advice would you give to someone that's trying to make a decision between staying in a corporate job or just going to do a startup?
I think it depends on the age. So I think it depends on the age and also their overall... Actually, I wouldn't say age, because I think that's a backwards kind of thinking. Any age is great to do anything new. But I think it's more about if they can really sift through the idea, because at the same time we call corporate status quo, one can say that startups is a hype, right? So you can, you can be sort of swooned by any of these two for whatever reasons. So I think my tip would be, try to really figure out your whys. Like, why are you wanting to change? So if you are in corporate and you want to go to startup, why? And vice versa. And look around what you have. Is it currently challenging you? Is it currently, making you grow? Like, are you feeling like you are surrounded by a good support system, about people that you want to work together with? And if the answer is no, get out of there. What are you doing there? And if the answer is yes, then keep asking, like, okay, but even with that, do I still want to do X or Y? Yes, no. And I think that's what I thought, and that's how I think still. It's a very selfish way of looking at it, of course, because it's your own point of view, is what you want for your life, is what you sort of feel like. And of course, with every selfish decision, you have a context. So I think it's really individual to see if they are able to have such a context that would allow them to be selfish. I think that I am in a very privileged position. But at the same time, I still have some limitations. So at some point with the Antler journey, I started to get nervous about money because I have Kachucha, I have a mortgage, and I don't want my parents to support me. So I felt like if I didn't get the investment money, I didn't want to continue without it, for example. But some other people are more comfortable with bootstrapping or with using up their savings because they are in a different context, or because their threshold for a risk, it's lower than mine. So I think it's a very personal decision, and it will go into context of the person. And overall, I would say skip the hype, skip the status quo, and do you know.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, thanks for sharing.
What would you say, because you did the same?
In terms of advice, so like yourself, I think it depends on the person. And the more like I mature and grow up, I feel like who you are. And also, so before I used to be very logical, very like just think what's the most logical decision to go through. But now, as I've grown older, actually gut instinct is actually very important. Now I've looked back on my past decisions and I thought gut instinct is actually probably a smarter choice than sometimes a logical decision. So logical decision is actually not to do a startup. It's actually not smart to do a startup. The chances of success are quite low. You have to try many times. And you might as well just get a job at like EY or Google or Facebook and just have a nice job, and that's just it's safer. But actually, if your gut feeling is telling you that no, this is not right for me, like I have to go out, step out into the world and kind of do my own thing. If your gut feeling is telling you to do that, and like you're not gonna turn out homeless or you're not gonna your health. So first thing is your health. So your health and your relationship. So your health, physical health, mental health. As long as that's not compromised, then you should follow your gut feeling. And if your relationships with your family, loved ones is not compromised, then you should also follow your gut feeling. So as long as your gut feeling doesn't compromise that, then I'm for all going for a startup if your gut feeling says that. But it depends on others. So like if they want to stay in the corporate world, that's also fine as well, because not everyone wants to do a startup and just create. It doesn't have to be a startup even. You can just do your own thing. Like you can just be a novelist. You can what do you call freelancer? And just do your own thing, really. Be
an artist.
And that's something that opened my eyes when I did Antler. It was like I was always in the corporate world, like yourself, like in the status quo. I was like, when I graduated, it was like, oh, all your friends are going to corporate environments, and like, oh, that's the best place to be, in these nice fancy offices and stuff. But actually doing out this kind of opened my eyes to the world. Like, you don't have to stay in an office. Like, you can do whatever you want. You can be a painter, you can be a novelist, you can like do gardening, or just you can choose whatever you want to do. You don't have to stay in an office and do that path that a lot of people maybe expect of you.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so that's opened my eyes to it. So I'd say very vague, but it's just follow your gut feeling. If your gut feeling says to do something, then go for it. Yeah, I think so.
I like especially the point about the health.
Yeah, don't compromise your physical or mental health.
No,
that's all.
And I think that's another point too, because I think that at least going into the startup world, I had the overall expectation that when you do a startup, that's your whole life, and you need to work like 100 hours a week, and you don't have a life. It's just that, right? It's like a newborn baby, and that's all you do. And I think I was, I thought that from watching Elon Musk's interviews and so forth, interviews, and that's at least not what I saw at Antler. I saw people that were hard workers, but nothing more than like what you would normally work at a corporate. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't, at least our experience, I personally didn't see anyone working more than what I normally work at EY. Which is a lot, by the way, but still. So it's not like, because I always felt like, for example, I never thought of working at certain consulting firms that are known to have like crazy hours. Or startup was something that made me nervous, because I also expected some crazy hours. And to me, these crazy hours, I cannot. I want to walk Pururuca. I want to sport. I want to, at the end of the day, relax for like 1 or 2 hours. Like I have to have those things in my day, and I have to sleep at least 7-8 hours. It's like something that to me is really important. So I always thought of these challenges where you would have like the expectation is pulling really long hours day in, day out, and to me it was all immediately no, thank you. And then when I saw a lot of our colleagues at Antler, and also the people that have already been in the market now for a couple of time, they have a life. They have an awesome life. They they don't work like crazy. It's like they work, of course, but it's like a full-time job. Not more, not less. And I was like, I don't know, it gave me a whole new idea of what startup can be, to be honest. A better idea. So I think that's also worth maybe sharing to people that might be under the impression that they are gonna have to like sleep in their basement and spend nothing and also have no life, working all the time. I saw people not doing that and still thriving, so it's possible. Someone is doing.
I think there's also like a balance in terms of like the risk of time. So you've got like, it's probably quite a mathematical way of thinking about this, but like so obviously we only got a certain amount of time in our lives, so you either spend, as you said, like 100 hours a week on that startup idea, but then there's a risk that a startup might not even succeed. So you want to maybe balance that time with other stuff that you want to do in your life, so to minimize the waste of time that you do spend on stuff. You just waste your time doing a startup that might not even work, and so you want to balance it with other stuff that fulfills you and makes you happy.
Definitely. But the thing is that I don't know, I think that there's a little bit of a toxic culture, a little bit, that the more time you spend working on something,
that's not true.
That is more somehow, that it's more, you are more passionate about it, like that somehow there's a relationship between the time you spend and the amount of passion or even maybe potential success that you will get from it. And I understand the concept and I don't completely disagree with certain parts of it. But I do think it's a little bit toxic in the sense that, like, if you simply don't have enough passion or let's say interest to do that thing for more than, let's say, a couple of hours, well, in those couple of hours you're very passionate, you like love it, but beyond that, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I think you can still put a lot of quality in what you do, and I still think you can be very passionate about it. I love walking my pururuca. I love, but if I had to walk the whole day, oh no, thank you, I wouldn't even walk the whole day. I wouldn't want that. So I think it's like sometimes I think overall people might feel like, oh, I'm not passionate enough about this idea, just because they don't see themselves working 100 hours. But 40 is enough. Are you more passionate about this idea than you are at your desk work or your corporate job? That's enough. You don't need to be obsessed to the point that you can work 100 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's kind of not a good lifestyle to have. Definitely
and you don't need to only have one interest, right? You
can have multiple. Multiple. Yeah,
it's fine to have a Renaissance kind of a lifestyle, trying things. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So let's talk about the future now. So like what do you want to like get out of life or like achieve life, or like what do you want to do in the future, like
life
ooh,
so the whole life.
So it could be anything, like you want to travel more, you want to start a family, do a startup, anything you want.
Well, I definitely want to leave the world a little bit better than right now. I want to be more involved with just overall sustainability and nature, animal, woman empowerment. I don't know, there's so many problems overall that I think are things that touch me, that I want to be able to support. I feel like I want to look back when I'm older and smile because I had a very adventurous and fun life. I don't want to take things too seriously, to be honest. I don't really take myself that seriously. I think that it's boring, and I think that I just like to enjoy life and laugh and do fun things and try new things, and I would like to allow others to be in a position that they could feel the same. So I think a combination of having that for myself and being able to also give that to others, I think that's something that I want to look back and have the satisfaction of being able to have achieved. But at the same time, I do want to, I just feel a very like urge to be more in nature, to be more, to scale back on consuming and being materialistic and having less stuff, and just doing less. Like just, I don't know, I think we worked up some amazing technology to the point that we should be working like twice a week and enjoying the rest, you know? And I don't know, I just really want to enjoy life and but not being careless about the broader context, you know? I don't want to just have fun while, you know, there's a sustainability, a climate crisis next to me. It feels wrong to also just make it all about enjoyment when you can also help with certain causes. So I think that's the most important to me. And I just need to figure out what is the best means of my life to be able to achieve that. And that I haven't figured out.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so essentially just trying to enjoy life, but without causing harm to planet Earth or preventing harm to planet Earth.
And like also bringing joy. Okay. I don't know, but I feel like, I don't know if my colleagues, you would agree, but I try to sort of bring positive energy and try to make people laugh. And I think that is something that is important to me, that people feel good when they're around me. I think that's overall what I want in life.
Okay.
And I would really like to have a farm.
Oh, okay.
Not like a farm, like I don't want to produce like anything.
Yeah.
But I would like to have my own garden and like plant and be able to like touch the earth and like, I love that.
Yeah.
And I would love to have like to be a sanctuary, like with rescue pururucus. In terms of family, I want a family in the sense of a feeling. So it doesn't need to be in the traditional sense of like a husband and children, definitely not. It can be in the shape of maybe like a group of friends that we buy a piece of land together, we all live there and have like a family where we sit down and we enjoy dinner and things like that. So
nice,
to me, family is a feeling. It's not really like a specific profile. So, but I want though. I like that.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. And so maybe touching on this as well. So, if money was not an issue, like what do you think you would do in life? You could just.
I know what I would do.
Yeah, or whatever.
I would 100% work with underprivileged people or fund amazing ideas that could help climate change. It could help women empowerment. It could help overall stray animals. I would just go around the world and look for those initiatives and look for these people and just help them, not only with money but also with my time. And I would literally just do that, travel the whole world. Just doing, maybe I would focus 1 or 2 years to support one specific initiative and work the whole time in there. And then I would go to another place and I would do that. I would definitely want to live in different countries. I would just do that. I would just overall go around, probably in a way that hopefully wouldn't impact. So I wouldn't, if money wasn't an issue, right, I wouldn't have a private jet. I think that's lame. So I would probably either fly commercial, or if I really had, the time, or something like crazy like that. But yeah, I would do definitely that. That would be amazing. I would just do all of like that, and I would definitely have like all sorts of hobbies, right? The side with sport. I would do crazy sport stuff. Which, by the way, I still want to do, like the adventure racing. I would definitely do that.
That sounds so fun.
Right?
We should think about it. Yes.
Next year.
Let's plan it.
Let's plan it. I would do, I don't know, I would just do crazy expeditions, in the middle of nowhere. For sure, if I had a lot of money, I would get like those crazy, I would go like to the pyramids of Egypt, and then I would get like an exclusive look at like the best place, like that no one can go, that only like archaeologists can go. And I would get the best guide, and he would tell me all the secrets, and I would do all sorts of things like that. That would be so cool. I would go to Antarctica and just spend a month there. Like, why not? I would do all kinds of crazy stuff like that.
Sounds cool.
Right? I mean,
I'd love to do that as well. Right? Just travel the world and stuff.
And I would want to do very differently, right? So I would want to go from like meeting maybe someone that wants to start a school, in a really poor place, and literally like help that person, maybe even building the school with my own hands, and spend a year on that,
Yeah.
or maybe 2, I don't know,
Yeah.
and then see that, and then maybe go to like, I don't know, like a crazy scientist who's developing some kind of crazy way to eliminate plastic from the ocean, and then work with that. Like, like I would just want to just sort of work with this kind of people, that are trying to make a true impact for the better, and just be around them and sort of, I want to be around these kind of people, I think.
Sounds like a similar lifestyle to Bill Gates. Bill Gates seems do a lot of this stuff, travels the world, like cleans water.
Right? I think like when you get to that level, I think that's that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal, yeah.
Except for Elon Musk.
That's literally, money's not an issue with Bill Gates.
Yeah,
literally,
literally
he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He could and I think that's beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, personally, I believe that that people are born good. Like, I think in general, people are good. Actually, that's what I believe. And I think evil and things like that are like a deviation. But that overall, like, the tendency of human character is to go towards the good, because for every act of like something not very good, there's like, I don't know how many for good. And I think that's just a bit louder because it's such an odd thing, thankfully.
Yeah.
So I hope that people that, start earning in a bizarre amount will find it within themselves to also, do that and dedicate more of their time and their money. Unfortunately, I think we can do much better on that right now. I think Bill Gates is really like an exception. I don't even know I don't know enough to even gauge what he's doing, but I do. You can see in the world that there's so many really bizarrely rich people, and I mean, even like what you see with those private jets, with those like brands that sell like a bag for like $500,000.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Like, what? I don't know. Like, there's a demand, right? Or else it wouldn't exist. Yeah. And I just cannot wrap my head around how you spend that kind of money in this world, knowing that what this money could mean to, like, I don't know. It's just. But it's a different scale too, right? So I don't know. I think I would need to first get there. Yeah. And then I'll tell you. Yeah. Okay. For a judge, everyone. Yeah. Maybe I should live in their shoes and then.
But sounds like a good plan. Like,
right?
What you want to do, like travel the world.
If anyone wants to give me money for me to live my dream, I think that's great.
Yeah, exactly. Something quite interesting. So it sounds like you're the view like this. In the future, so obviously we're quite far away from this now, but like complete automation of everything. So they think in the future like robots will just automate everything, and we'll kind of live in a society where we're encouraged to do more creative pursuits. And I kind of think, I love that. So no one would have to work. Like, you don't have to do anything.
I love that.
And like, you literally just get fed by robots, and then you can just do whatever
creative
thing you want.
People are. I think there will always be a space for us to work.
Yeah.
Because even
someone's got to make the robots.
Yeah. I think there will always be a space for us to work. I don't know if there will be a space for everyone to work, but I think for we need to. There's limitations to the robots.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Actually,
maybe not. Yeah.
Maybe not. Yeah. Maybe they're gonna.
Maybe not.
But I hope that if not, somehow we like find ways to merge in a way that we are like superhumans. Yeah. Because I would love to fly. Yeah. Like, I would just love to be able to just jump out of this window and just take a fly. Yeah. That would be epic.
That would be pretty good.
Right? So I would love to somehow, or like that I look at a book and then I don't know, like 2 or 3 hours I upload all the contents in my brain. And then now I can just sort of
like Neuralink from Elon
like
Musk.
I would love, although I do kind of like the ritual of reading.
Yeah, it's nice.
So
it's nice.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
But I think if I lived in a world where I didn't have to do anything other than creative things, or I think, first of all, I would still choose to do certain things. So I would say no robots. Let me sell this, okay? Let me do this.
Yeah.
I think I would still. I don't know. It's gonna be very. First of all, we need to transition, and with every transition, it's hard sometimes, right, to change what you do, especially when it's so ingrained, right, to work like this much the way we do. I think personally, I think I could do it, but I would need to see.
Yeah.
I think I could do a life where I had robot servants and I just had to sort of enjoy.
Yeah.
I think I have enough things that I want to try out.
Yeah.
People say it gets boring after a while, but I think I could challenge myself.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
You know, like I could still make I don't know, creative things. Like I could maybe create escape rooms.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, why
or
not? You can do anything you want.
Yeah. I could, like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
About not doing work.
And just doing like could you really picture like you not going crazy? I think I would go crazy maybe.
Really?
I think it could potentially.
I think I kind of experienced that with a startup. Kind of like you're not working. You're doing what you really want to do. Because you can work on anything you want in a startup.
Right.
Like, you know, as well. Anything you want. Rockets, I don't know, sustainability, anything you want. And so you're not working, you're doing stuff that you want to do with your time. So it's similar in a way. So I think I think I would naturally be inclined to just do stuff that I want to do, as opposed to just sitting down and just getting big.
Okay, but the thing is, with the startup, there's still a goal, and that is to create something that is of value, monetary value.
Yeah, still got to get an income.
Within our incubator.
Yeah.
So remove that.
Yeah.
From the equation, because that's the case with robots.
Yeah.
Like, that's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I'll do something similar to you. I'd do a lot of traveling. But
I think that's the point, though. Like, a lot of people say it gets old. Like, at some point.
No, I wouldn't. Well, it'll get old if you live forever, but we've only got a short amount of time.
That's also a possibility.
Yeah. Well, they say our generation's life expectancy is expected to hit 150 years old.
What am I gonna do? I definitely don't want to live forever, to be honest.
Some people are trying to do that.
No, sure, go for it, but I am not.
There's some research into longevity.
I don't think I want that.
Like a vampire.
Honestly. I like the idea of like having a full kind of cycle. I think, imagine, like, there's no end. I mean, of course, if you get hit by something, you can die. Yeah. But overall, like, if you knew that unless you have a massive accident, you couldn't die out of, like, just aging.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that at all.
Yeah.
First of all, you would probably, like, your concept of time would be completely change.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you when you're young? What are you when you're an adult? What are you when you're old? Like, what kind of age are you, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you young with, like, 2,000 years?
Yeah. That's a very interesting topic, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you look at time? Like, when do you have kids?
Yeah.
When do you I don't know. It just seems like, when do you study? When you don't study, it would change everything.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
What would be a university? What would be the purpose?
Yeah.
And for how long would you stay?
Yeah.
Like, it just, I don't know. Just, what about birthdays?
Yeah. Birthdays.
Would you have it every year or every, like, 100 years?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, every year we kind of get the same thing.
Too many birthdays.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that I also think like human connection.
Uh-huh.
If you knew you would be with the person literally forever, like, I'm not sure if, like, I don't know if people would want to go for it, because it's so long.
Yeah,
I think polygamy would be a big hit, actually.
Yeah,
with the forever life.
If you live forever, yeah.
Yeah. Also, am I interested in living forever if my dog cannot live forever?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it'd be kind of sad. Like, you see your loved ones just pass away, like, kind of.
Only if it's in an accident, right? Because
Yeah.
overall they're gonna.
Or if everyone lived forever.
Yeah.
Not just you. Okay.
Yeah. All humans.
Yeah, I think that overpopulation might be a problem.
Yeah,
that.
and also, like, imagine animals.
Yeah.
Because they, unless, like, it's the big turtle, forgot the name, that lives like 200 years or something. Forgot the name.
Yeah, there's
you know, the
sea creatures do live a long time.
The turtle. But yeah, like, it's already hard enough living with the fact that Pururuca will only live with me for maybe another, hopefully 10, 13 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to, like, that, no.
Yeah.
And I mean, everyone would need psychologists, I think.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of mental health problems.
A lot of mental health there.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of trauma.
Yeah, it's over affinity. Yeah. It's pretty tough, yeah.
I don't know. I think that also, is that good for our society? Like, if someone is super biased, because usually with generation, you have like sort of a shifting mentality.
Yeah.
But how does it work if it's the same person? Would they change with it, like what they think?
I think someone said it's an interesting paradox. They said if we technically lived forever, there would technically be no suffering. There'd be no wars or anything, because the theory is that
you'll be afraid of dying.
Yeah, because suffering and war happens because we're afraid of dying, and if we can't die, that means there would be no more suffering or war. But
that's not true, because you'd still die. It's just that you don't die of aging. Like if a bus hits you, you can still die, right? They are reversing the genetics.
Yeah, now we're talking like
So if you go to a war,
yeah,
like for example, you can die from a bomb or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we wouldn't prevent death. We would just prevent death from aging, right?
Yeah, because
you could still have diseases, and you could still die of natural, like natural accidents.
Yeah.
Someone would die of something stupid, like trying to take a selfie from the top of a mountain or something.
Yeah, that does happen.
Yeah, so someone would die, and then so you're still not eliminating that risk. You're just minimizing from other causes, like aging and.
Let me ask you some like oddball questions. So we can't come in near the end now. So let me ask you some oddball. Do you believe in? Firstly, do you think simulation theory is real? Do we live in a simulation, or are we in real life?
Oh, I mean, I think if we live in a simulation, for sure I don't think so. But if we did, it would be pretty cool, and I would wanna. I mean, please, let me in after I die, whatever, because I would love to see a civilization that is so advanced, that is able to create this, right? And like watch it and control it or whatever. Yeah. I think that would be sick. Like, who are you? Like, how do you live? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I
would love to see that, but I don't think so.
Okay. But why not? Why don't you think so?
I don't think so, because I feel like overall there's so much unfairness in the world, and it's so random. Everything is so random, in my opinion, that if there was a simulation, then I mean, how sad. Because then like whoever or whatever is in charge could do better, I guess.
Or maybe it's just you're like the player, but then they put that kind of image in front of you, so it looks like people are suffering, but it's just an image put in front of you.
Oh shit, okay. I hope so. Then in that case that would be great, because then it's like
it's not real, right?
It would be not real, and I think that would be great. But then again, what would be the point of them doing that?
Yeah.
Like what are you trying to learn? Yeah. Because if you are the simulator, man, you probably, what are you trying to experiment here? Is it pure entertainment? If so, I would think that if you're that evolved, come on, do better for entertainment. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I just think that no matter how you look at it, like, it's kind of lame for the simulator end. You know, either you're like a tyrant who enjoys a weird mix of human suffering plus human happiness. Like, I don't know, if your entertainment is weird, my friend. And then if it's for study, what can you actually learn that you already don't know? Because if you're the simulator, like, holy shit, like, wow, you're really advanced.
Yeah.
So I don't see how that would work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And so
what do you think?
What do I think? I'm pretty open-minded about this. So I've heard people speak about this topic, but I think for your own sanity, I think it's wiser to just think that how we live now is the true reality. And if you start to overthink, like, oh, what's this simulation? I think you tend to overthink, maybe.
Well, Plato's what is it called? The cave. What is it called? The allegory of the cave. I forgot, but Plato has a really cool, overall writing about it. But it's not like there's a actual simulator that someone, like something or someone else, is imposing on us. It's more like we, with our biases, our overall points of views, our overall understanding of the world, we are never truly able to see the truth because of it, because we have our own lenses on. So
I agree with that. Yeah,
like the raw truth will never be the raw truth for you because you have those glasses on, and that goes for everyone else. That I get behind. That kind of thinking of like the way you look at the world, it is your own simulation, because you look from your point of view that is a biased point of view.
Like you're the main character of your own story, right?
And therefore when you look around, what you perceive and the judgments that you make might not actually be the objective truth. That I agree. In that sense I agree. Or I can understand, at least. And that's so clear actually when you see like people that are sexist argue with people that are feminists. Like, you can really see how they just look completely different ways, like what suffering means, what the implication, like, it's just so different, their viewpoints. So that I believe that's sort of like your own, the way you see your words, your own simulation. But like I'm actual, like, this whole thing being a simulation produced by a entity or something. I think that's a bit too much.
Okay. So that brings on to another question. So, do you believe there's intelligent life out there outside planet Earth?
100%.
Like intelligent life form?
I think we are intelligent.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think you're intelligent? I think we are.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's relative, so we're more intelligent than most
we know.
Animals, species on the planet,
So if we baseline us as intelligent, I do think so. Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Like, how do you imagine it? Like, how do you picture
I don't
them?
know what they could look like, but I imagine that they are able to have a society within their planet. You know, that it's understood how to harvest or how to survive, you know, and they are able to understand that the planet is part of something much broader. I don't know, I wouldn't go to the points that, oh, they have figured out how to get out, how to travel through, you know, light year speed and go somewhere and go, you know, say hello to us and help us with some pyramids. I think that's a bit of a jump there. But overall, I do think that, I mean, it's so vast, the universe, and we have already spotted a couple of places that could potentially have life as we know it. That, I mean, why not? What, you know what I mean? Like, they've already seen, like, I forgot the name, but it's a location where it's far enough from the sun that, you know, would allow for water to exist, but it's not too far that it would be too cold. So they've seen that in many other galaxies and solar systems. So who's to say that there isn't something, you know, that is also trying to figure it out, what's out there somewhere else. It just hasn't maybe found a way to connect with us or us, you know.
Interesting. So I think there's like two main areas of thinking about this. So as you mentioned, the universe is so vast, so there must be some sort of life out there, like
life for sure, but intelligent life, which is your question. I think life, I think it would be crazy for us to think that there's absolutely no life. And how do you define life too, right? I would say even like a plankton or something like that is a life. Like
a cell.
Exactly.
Like that,
then I think definitely fungus, virus, whatever. But intelligent life, baseline on us, I think it's possible. Maybe they don't look like us, but I think it's possible that they understand that there's more than the planet, right? That there's like this sort of governing system of and
so there's also a second school of thought that says, because there's so much, you said, the universe is so big, so technically there should be life, but there also should technically be signs of life. So we're like a droplet in time across the entirety of the universe. So the universe has like been around for ages, and so we're like a small droplet in time. So technically, given that we're such a small droplet in time, everything before us, so there should be intelligent life before us, and they should have evolved to a stage that we should be seeing stuff around the universe. So we should be seeing machines or aircraft that absorb energy from the suns or stars, which is what we humans should be doing in the future. Like, we should be drawing energy from stars rather than just relying on our planet Earth for energy. So, but we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that yet. So there's a school of thought that maybe we are actually alone, because there's been so much time elapsed from the Big Bang till now. There's been enough time for intelligent life to fully evolve in the universe and have some sort of machinery that, or some stuff that we should see, but we haven't. So that's the second school of thought, which I thought was quite interesting.
I don't know how I feel about that. Because I don't know enough, and also because like define like this measure of time. How do you define that? Like when things should happen by when? I mean the time it took for us to evolve, and then where we are now, it's going like exponentially fast. So I mean, I don't know. Right? And we don't know how far we are going.
No one knows.
When do we hit a wall? We don't know. We don't know. And there's like, we had dinosaurs, and then we had the meteor, which eliminated, and sort of life had to start evolving again. Terrestrial life, at least. And then sort of like, okay, where would we be around if that meteor hasn't happened, right? Like, would that be then the case? Is that the argument? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I just don't know, right? And then there's someone I read somewhere, and I don't know if this is theory that is like conspiracy theory, or if it's like a working theory from proper scientists. But that we only have water because like a comet hit us like early on and had a lot of water or something.
Okay.
Like there was something that the water wasn't generated truly from just Earth, but it was actually, you know, I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then there's like another variable, right?
Yeah.
That needs to take place in order to for a planet to doesn't. It's just not temperature, but it also is like this sort
external
of
factors.
Yeah. But and if that's the case, it's even harder to like then get to life, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know if time-wise this would hold.
Yeah.
Right, because that's if you need those other variables, maybe other planets had.
It's interesting.
I don't know, right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it's fascinating.
It's fascinating.
And I think it's really cool that I don't know, but in my view, I think somehow astronomy overall is sort of like viewed as cooler now than it was before. I think before it was more like very nerdy or something.
Right.
And somehow like technology in general and sort of astronomy and those sort of kind of topics is becoming cool again. Maybe because of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and the other guy forgot from Virgin company. What is his name? Richard. Yeah. Maybe because of them. And if that's the case, if they're making science cool, you know, that's pretty cool. Great. We need that. We need people to think that these are areas that they want to perceive more than banking or investment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, more rewarding. Okay, so last few questions now. So second last. So what advice would you give to someone that's like younger person, maybe in their teens or 20s, like how should they live their life? It could be anything from leading a more fulfilling life, meaning in life, or like it could be career, family, or whatever. What advice would you give to someone?
I think I would be super cheesy and really enjoy the present, like really enjoy, especially if you're a teen, you don't have that many responsibilities, hopefully. Hopefully you are able to have a loving family, and if that's the case, really like don't take that for granted. Be with, you know, surrounded by friends that are really your friends. Like don't just hang out with people because you feel like you have to, or you feel like you will look like something if you don't. Really look for value human beings that actually love you for who you are, that cheer when you do something that you like and that you're proud of. And if someone is not that for you, I mean, drop them. And if that's someone from your family, I mean, try to stay away as much as you can and really surround yourself with people that are really wishing and cheering for you, you know, whatever it is that you want to do, unless it's something really terrible, then no, you should not be doing that. I think focus on friendships and sort of fostering that kind of interpersonal circle around you. I think these are the second point. So first, be present, enjoy what you currently have. It goes so fast. Life goes so fast. And when you are like reminiscing like all of these like experiences, it's such a nice feeling to have nostalgia like over these kind of memories. So I think that's and then I think the third point would be, if you are surrounded by people that you know you enjoy and are supportive, if you are focusing on the present moment, like what you currently have, and be grateful for it, and sort of take a step back from your phone and really just realize where you are and take it in. Okay. I think the last thing is take a look around, be curious about what other people's are coming from, their pain, why they say things that maybe you disagree with or you don't understand. Take a look at the context of the world, you know, ask questions, be critical about, you know, who you choose to support, and be critical about, you know, your time, and what you decide to invest on. Maybe not when you're 10, but looking forward, you know, just be more attentive, and don't just repeat what you hear. Think about what you're hearing. Does it even make sense that that's being like, that the world's talking so much about that? Does it even make sense? Right? That we are taking so much time of news to cover certain stories. Sometimes it really doesn't, right? Like, and then I think all I have to I have and adopt dogs.
Adopt dogs.
Adopt dogs.
Nice.
That's it.
Great. Very valuable advice, actually.
Thank you.
So live in the present, have meaningful relationships with people.
Be more critical about your time and the information you repeat or you're getting, right? Be more critical, like challenge a little bit. Even with music, sometimes some of the lyrics, do you want to be listening? Like, do you even agree what they're saying? Do you think that's cool? Like, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty wild, some of the lyrics.
Like sometimes, like, why is this a hit? Like, what kind of message am I sending? You know what I mean? If I'm jamming to this, like, sometimes I feel like we have no kind of a filter, or we don't have any kind of like criticism as to what you're consuming. You just take it, and you should be more reactive or proactive about what you consume.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. And so, final question. So, what do you think is the meaning of life itself? So, or could be meaning, or you could not think there's a meaning at all, or could be anything.
I don't know. First of all, I wouldn't even put myself in a position where I would be, let's say, preaching what I think, because I really don't know. But for me personally, and indeed it's very personal, so I don't think it's something that it's meant to be taught. I would like my life to have meaning. And the meaning that I want my life to have is of enjoyment and doing good. And that's what's important to me. And I do not think that I'm going to have some kind of afterlife award for doing those things. I do those things because these things make me feel good now, here, today. And that's enough for me. I don't know what's going to happen after. I personally I'm not religious. I don't have any gods that I, go to bed and talk to. But that's the meaning that I'm seeking. And I wish that when I'm really old, hopefully not 1,000 years, I will look back and I will find those meanings, and I will, be at peace with that.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful way to end the episode. But thank you for your time, Marina. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed listening as well.
I'm curious about your reply to that, though.
Oh, okay. What do I think is the meaning of life? That's a tough one as well. It depends on the person. So I think there's a couple of schools of thought about this, but personally I believe in, I think it's dangerous to overthink sometimes about things, and I think partly what you mentioned, so I think just living very presently and just trying to enjoy life as much as you can, and also doing what you feel is right in your life. So touched on this, so following your gut instincts about things. But so I'm more of the school of thought that we don't overthink things too much about life, or it's like some special kind of I don't know, meaning out there. After all, everyone gets the same 24 hours in the day. And
except for Elon Musk.
Yeah, except for Elon Musk.
He has, I don't know how many.
Well, yeah. if you don't count the sleep, But like everyone gets the same 24 hours, and we can choose how we want to spend those 24 hours each day. And so sometimes I don't think there's a point in thinking too deep or complicated about this. So we got 24 hours, and we should just try to spend it with family, friends, loved ones, or just do stuff that we really want to do, whether that be traveling or doing, I don't know, yoga or anything. And I think we should carry that type of thinking throughout our lives, so that each 24 hours that we spend brings us meaning, or we enjoy that 24 hours at least. So yeah, and that's the way I'm thinking. But yeah, it's probably, if I spend a lot more time thinking about it, then
I do think it's a nice exercise though. I don't think it's something that, indeed, like, do you really want to spend an enormous amount of time on it? Maybe you go crazy. But like, philosophically, it is an very interesting question that I think has helped us evolve a lot as a species. And it is like, if there is an answer to it, I mean, I would like to know, right? If there's an objective answer, which is probably unlikely, but if there is one, how exciting would that be? How exciting would that be?
Very interesting.
And it's nice to think about it. I think it's really nice, like some of the questions you brought, like with the simulation, it's kind of all revolves around the same kind of like space of
like, why
possibilities, right? It's like, why
are we here?
It's a valid, I think it's a very valid and beautiful question. But then again, we as humans, we tend to always look for meaning things. Right? It's like we are very bad at no control. So no reasoning, right? So I think it's also a little bit like for our own sort of comfort that we seek to answer those questions.
Definitely. Before we wrap up, you probably have. Do you have any questions for me? Or
I mean, I've been asking.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, or
you're also my friend.
So you want to add anything?
Why did you start the podcast?
So as I said, like, I'm a big fan of listening to podcasts. Like, I listen to Joe Rogan, Lex Fridman, lots of different podcasts. They're just nice to have when you're just like on your bike or like traveling and or cooking even. So you just listen to podcasts and you just learn something new. It's like an active form of learning. Like, you're basically, like, it's almost like you're listening to like friends speaking, and you're also consuming information at the same time, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I love listening to podcasts, but I thought, why not try it out myself and just see how it is. And it's also a good way to just speak with friends and just like get to know them like on a much deeper level, like knowing about how they grew up, their childhood, what are their dreams for the future, like what do they want to do, how do they think about certain topics, and just it just makes me it's a good way to get to know your friends a bit better, but also just I find it interesting, like, hearing how people grew up and everything like that. So
definitely, I
thought, why not just try this and just see how it goes.
What are your dreams for the future?
So I'll have to think about that in a few. But I think just doing what I truly want to do, because I think in the past I've kind of just stayed in like the status quo and just kind of stuck with things or continue things because that's kind of the path everyone takes. And I kind of just like went behind the queue and just went, let's just follow this queue, but actually I can go in a different line and do something else.
Definitely.
I don't have to stay in that queue. And that's kind of made me think, I can do whatever you want in the future. But so you got to make an income. So that's that. So doing what I really want to do. So I still have to find it, what exactly I want to do. But at least I'm on that type of thinking now.
Definitely.
Also, I want to start probably a family in the future. So there's that. I'd love to do more traveling in the future. That's something I really want to do. Like, I've stayed in London for a few years, but I should have went out there and just travelled really. I think it's really enriching experience to do that. But I'm glad I came here to Amsterdam, so got to live in a foreign country.
True. How are you liking?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good so far. I quite like it.
Do you prefer over London?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a smaller village vibe. Like it kind of London's very big. London's huge.
Yeah. I've never been to London.
You never been to London?
No, I have to go.
Oh, okay,
just to visit.
Yeah, I can show you around if you go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, London's a lot of things to do. But I think I'm a village person at heart. Like
I'm also not a big type of city person.
London's like it's kind of too big, too many people, too many. People can be quite rude in London as well. So
I don't like that.
Yeah, there's a uniqueness to Amsterdam. I feel like it's a lot
feels cozy.
A lot of freedom as well. People can do what they want, say what they want without judgment. So most of the time anyway.
And comparatively to other countries.
Relatively, So it's very liberating. Yeah. A lot of freedom, Very progressive. We touched on that,
tolerant.
Yeah.
I think also.
Yeah, and I love the cycling as well. I think it just...
I love it too.
Encourages you to just do more, go out more.
Yeah, I love it. It feels like we are healthier or something, right?
Yeah.
That's because of the biking.
Yeah.
It's a mindset, like, let me go by bike.
Yes.
And that sort of trickle... I think in Netherlands, I don't know if I read that somewhere, but it was like really into sports, like for like... when you're growing up, like kids here are like some of the most sportiest kids in the world or something.
Oh, really?
I heard that somewhere, and I believe it, even if it's a lie.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
it could be true. Yeah.
It's when I worked in US and when I worked in Brazil, my colleagues, maybe they went to the gym. Here, Ironman, like rock climbing, kite surfing. Yeah. Like everyone is like so kind of hardcore into a sport, in a really cool sport, and they all also are quite fit. So I'm like, I believe that.
I see so many like outdoor playgrounds and parks where like kids to go in outdoor gyms and stuff.
Definitely.
It's just everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, but
How cute is she?
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
All right.
How long was that?
So let's wrap it up. Yeah. So.
Oh, your batteries.
Oh wow.
Was I the longest?